Hey, I'm back. Petey here. Hey, YouTube. Anyway, I wanted to promote. There's an album coming out in 2 days, February 22nd, 2019. It's the Claypool Lennon Delerium. It's Les Claypool and Sean Lennon, John Lennon's son. The album is called South of Reality. It's got a real cool psychedelic album cover. It looks like an old sci fi novel. There's a cricket probably standing on Phobos, the second moon of Mars. In the background, you can see Mars and you can also see the Earth. Now, the song that they've released off of this album is something having to do with a guy named Jack Parsons, who was a disciple of Aleister Crowley. This guy was like a occult dude, and he also started NASA. So he's a brilliant. They're writing songs about stuff that pique my interest. It's like you find out that NASA. A lot of people think they're lying, but a lot of people think that the Earth is flat. Now, a lot of people think that NASA never went to the moon, but it's a fact that the guy who started NASA. Look into that story, Jack Parsons. I'll say no more. It gets really, really crazy. It's absolutely nutball insane if you read about Jack Parsons. He was kind of a, I don't want to say pervert, but he was a huge perv, this guy. Like all this weird stuff, wife swapping, and there was like two guys, it's a real filthy story, and they were into like devil worship and or Satanism. What Crowley, there is no devil, you're a god, that type of thing. Do what thou wilt. That whole Illuminati message. Now, this particular group interests me. This album interests me. I'd seen some live footage of these guys. I know there's a band called Flaming Lips who had done some psychedelic stuff that's fantastic. Their experimental stuff is great. I love it. They did some Beatles stuff that was really cool. And before they got Miley Cyrus in to do Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, Sean Lennon was doing it. So there's video of him performing that with his witch hat on. And he wears like this big witch hat. I mean, that's what it looks like. I'm not sure what the deal with that is. He's got like the goatee, like the devil, thing going on. And then a big emerald green offset guitar. And he's up there singing with the nasally voice and this massive pedal board with 6 tiers deep, full of every Earthquaker Devices weird echo box that they make. And then Les Claypool's over there on some giant oaken bass. So it's definitely interesting music. They recorded a song called "The Moon of Phobos" or something about the tesseract. What is it? The monolith on Phobos, which Phobos means fear in Greek. It's a potato-shaped moon that flies around Mars. Mars has 2 moons. And in one of those craters, Buzz Aldrin, in an interview not too long ago, was like, yeah, people are going to be real excited to know there's a crater with a monolith flying around Mars. Who put that there? People are going to want to know. So it was like all of a sudden like the public had never heard of this, that there was a monolith on the moon of Mars. So that's a highly debated thing. Was he drinking again? Buzz, what's up with Buzz Aldrin? He's a 33.5 degree Mason, or do they go up to 100? Who knows? All I know is this album's coming out and they're writing about stuff that piques my fancy. I like the idea that we don't know, but there might be a monolith in a crater on the moon of Mars, and that they're writing songs about that. That, to me, is worth giving a shake. Now, I'm not going to go on a limb and say, this is going to be Second Coming of Christ, this album. It's probably going to be, it's going to have some high points, and it's probably going to have some stick bumps. The Jack Parsons song where they're talking about NASA and all that, whatever that is, there's a produced video for that. They were aping the Beatle type of feel. It was like complete with megaphone voice, which is fine. But I'm hoping that the album has some more rewarding, more adventurous, and I'm sure it will. But that was, of course they're gonna. I mean, are they? Of course. Are you? You're gonna be like putting up a billboard that you're John Lennon's son, or are you gonna move on and make something new? You know. So I'm not saying that this is a great album because there's a song on it that sounds like they're aping the Beatles to a T. That's not why I'm saying that this album is exciting. I'm saying it's exciting because they probably will be using reverse delay. They'll be using unusual echo box and recording techniques. And that's the stuff that gets me off. That's where I start giggling and laughing like a little schoolgirl when I got the headphones on and I'm listening to the album for the first time and I got to rewind it a bunch of times to try to figure out how they're getting that sound. So that's more of why I'm tripping out and recommending this album for you guys than the fact that he's going to be up there with his, doing his, trying to impersonate Paul McCartney, but in his dad's voice. So let's be straight about that. And I did see footage of them covering some stuff. I think they covered some like classic Pink Floyd, like some Sid Barrett Pink Floyd. And that's also not why that's actually why I don't know anything about this band. I saw them do that live and that was it. I never watched it again. I'm thinking, what are you doing, Les Claypool? And then I was called back to the Napster days of seeing all these recordings of Primus shows where they were covering classic Pink Floyd. And I would listen to the whole intro for Shine On You Crazy Diamond, and it sounded kind of like the album, and then all of a sudden, nobody knows where you are. It's Les Claypool singing the lead, and just couldn't hit the stop button fast enough. So, just so you understand where I'm coming from, I'm excited about this because the possibility that it could bring some new and exciting sounds to the table. I love psychedelic rock, but there's a lot of bad psychedelic rock. Most of it is unlistenable garbage. That's why I love King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. Wonderful band. So, Claypool, you love him or like him or hate him. I like him. I'll put up with his nasally voice because I love what he does with the bass, and he's recorded some incredible, unique music. It's always unique. Say what you want about Les. He'll reinvent himself and repeat songs, but you'll never be able to know what the original song was he was ripping off because he's that good and he pushes himself that far. Another band that he was in, drummer Stuart Copeland, and then the guitar player Trey Anastasio. I don't know how to say that guy's name. I know he had some substance abuse issues, and I know that they canceled their tour because the 911, the Twin Towers, they were going out. That was like the first leg of their tour, and they canceled it. And I think it might have had multiple reasons. I think that Stuart Copeland doesn't want to tour. He had recently had another band with Adrian Belew and Mark King, who's like one of the best bass players in the world, and then a virtuoso keyboard guy from Italy. That band is called Gizmodrome. They put out an album not too long ago. They were supposed to do a world tour, and that tour never happened. But speaking of Les Claypool bands, there's a band called Oysterhead, and that was who I was talking about. Both of those albums are really exceptionally good to great albums. Oysterhead is unbelievable. And I really do. I like that Gizmodrome album a lot. Stuart Copeland sings most of the lead vocals on it. That's worth checking out, especially if you like Adrian Belew. He's on it. But it's not the Adrian Belew hour. He's playing in this band. So he's singing some vocals, and you can hear where he does his thing. But it's just a really intense power pop, but an underground. It has that, they're such good players. It's more about the music and the sounds than pop hooks or hip hop breaks or guest spots, guest rappers. It's power pop, the best stuff. And then that Oysterhead album is really, really something special. That's such a shame that band didn't do more, because the combination of those three guys was magic. So, in 2 days, this new one's going to drop. That's the Claypool, Lennon, Delerium. South of Reality. I'm really excited about it. It holds a lot of promise. I read some of the reviews. The one guy gave it a B- because he was saying that they were taking shots, barbs at society. So I'm guessing this guy's a millennial. Or why am I assuming he's a guy? I'm guessing he's not. So that's probably the problem, is it's not a rapper or a woman singing about feminine time of the month. So that's why this person gave it a B-, is because they said something about a girl using Tinder in the lyrics. And this person uses Tinder, never had a real legit relationship in their life, so that really probably sent them for a loop and gave them something to, bring that album down a couple of notches for. So, again, I got to distance myself from this turkey, because I know it's not going to be all unbelievably great. Probably the only couple of really good songs are the ones where Les gets to have his way with the reverse delays on it. But I'm still really excited about this album. I'm definitely going to check it out. And if you haven't ever listened to the Oysterhead album, if you haven't listened to Gizmodrome, and if you still haven't listened to King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard, we can't be friends. All right, you guys. Peace.